Awesome, man. Let's dive into the tech so that we use the 22 minutes we've got lined up here to so I can show you what I've been doing. Obviously, you're a master of AI and using it, and especially ChatGPT. But I think what I wanted to share with you is how I'm automating the use of AI across multiple steps so that not only can the AI produce and help, but also like the pass between can be automated. So instead of just describing it to you, I figured I'd open up my Zapier, share my screen, and just walk you step by step through what my Zaps do and how they work. Do you use Zapier at all, by the way,
I
Rob?
do. I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Zapier is going to be, well, either become one of the most powerful companies in the world or it'll become obsolete due to AI. Like
Yeah.
somewhere
Well, it
along the
depends how
lines.
quickly they integrate AI,
Right.
and so far I haven't seen them being very accelerated on that. But are you using OpenAI in Zapier?
I am not.
Oh, dude, this is just that. Once you see that, it's gonna fucking rock your world. Okay, so unfortunately, they don't have Zapier is not yet supporting GPT-4, but for most things, you can still use GPT-3 in it, and it will work pretty well. So, all right, here we go. Let me get my screen shared, and then I have two different processes that I want to walk you through that I use. All right, share screen. Here we go. Boom. You can see my Google Chrome here.
Yep.
Awesome. So I'm going to walk you through this one, AI video one and video two, and this one right here. Let's do this first one, this article one. This is the newer one that I made, but I wanted to give you an example. So I want to do it in real time with you, exactly how it works. So I've got my phone on my little selfie stick. Sometimes I'll go out for a run, not with my selfie stick, and I've got my phone, and I just talk into my phone, um, like spoken type content. So we'll just do an example like this. Hey, what's up, Rob? Good to be with you today. I'm going to give you an example of what it's like to just talk into my phone, capture an audio, and then have that audio, even in spoken word, be turned into a publishable article with proper grammar and proper English. As you see, I'm making a bit of a mistake in my speaking. That should be cleaned up by ChatGPT. And you might also notice if I use a word like gonna, it will be turned into the proper English version of it. It won't be spelled out Gonna in the article. It'll be actually written English. And hopefully, once this works, you'll also see this text being formatted into paragraphs, having the correct punctuation and everything, so that simply my spoken voice as one big lump of speaking is turned into a publishable article all by itself. So I'm going to hit stop. And now I'm going to take this audio and I'm just going to save the files on my iPhone. And I've got my Google Drive app integrated into my iOS, so I can save it into a Google Drive folder inside my my native folders app in the iPhone. And I'm going to give the article a name. I'm going to call this Rob example, right? And that's important. You'll see why in a second. So that the file name I give it Rob example. Then I'm going to hit save. And now there's going to be some stuff happening in the background. Let's see if we can load this up, actually. Let's see if we can go to history and see if we can see something happening as it comes in. It's going to take a minute, right? But so we'll just leave this open. I'll change the date just to focus on today while we chat for a bit. So any questions while we wait for this to pop up and do something so far?
Yes, the Google Drive app integration on there. Obviously, I've downloaded or I use Google Drive, but how are you natively doing this?
So if you go into the Files app on your iPhone, right, and you go to what is it? Edit. Where is it? I think it should just show up there. Do you not see if you go to the Browse tab? Do you not see do you not see that?
Let me um
Because it makes Google Drive so much easier to work with when it's integrated into the native iOS folders.
right.
I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes like uploading a file into Google Drive, it like doesn't work from the phone or it like
All right.
pauses and
So here's the thing. I don't even use the Files app.
okay.
So this is all right. So I see iCloud Drive synced with iCloud. So really, would it be creating a new folder?
No, you have to actually have the Drive app. Like, where is the settings? Let's Google it real quick while we're waiting for this thing to do. How to add Google Drive to iOS folders app. Download, open the Files tab, tap the Browse, tap the More, tap Edit. Okay. Open the Files, tap Browse, tap the More button, then tap Edit. Where's the More button?
Yeah. Files, browse. I'm there.
Browse, Locations, Edit.
Tap. Turn the third-party app. Viewing options. Interesting. So this is actually a great example of what can stop people, like this entire awesome process. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the one thing you're like, I can't figure out how to get Google Drive on my phone in the Files app.
Okay, so check if you don't see one of your third-party cloud services in the Files app, check with your cloud provider. So I'm going to open up Google Drive on my phone, right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to see if there's a setting in Google Drive that makes it available inside the app. Backup, default apps. No. But you're right, this is a good example because this is where people would give up. Right. And it's like, and it's my friend Troy, who is a farmer here in Maui with nearby. He says persistence removes resistance. Persistence removes resistance. So this is the thing with tech. You got to keep going. That's crazy because I've already done it.
Right. Well, don't let this stop us. It was just a good question while this is happening.
Yeah, but we should figure it out and then make sure we add it in for anybody that's watching this so that they know how to do it. It's definitely possible because I'm doing it that way.
Okay,
and then
is it the available offline? Is that possibly it?
No, that's something else. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
So, so this is part of the way done right now, this Zap. So, it says delayed because I've got a pause in it so that it can do something in particular. So I'm going to just take you to the Zap right now. So it's working. So that's good news. Let's take you to the Zap and I'll walk you through how it works. Has this come up yet? Not yet. Okay, cool. Zap runs. Zaps. How do I edit this thing? Run history, edit Zap details. Here we go. Oh, no, that's not it. Edit this step. Let's try that. All right. So a new voice recording shows up in Google Drive because I've uploaded it as I showed you, right? That's the first thing. That's the trigger. Then the whole Zap wakes up. It's like, oh, there's a new file in this particular folder. Great. In the folder, I call it AI Articles Bot. And by the way, once you set up the native Google Drive inside of file folders, you can take a subfolder within Google Drive and you can mark it as a favorite. And then it will show up right in your in your favorite folders. And so it's just easier to access it super quick when you want to upload something instead of having to go through like 17 subfolders in Google Drive.
Nice.
All right. So that's the trigger. And then the first thing it does is it grabs that audio and using the OpenAI API in Zapier, it sends it to Whisper. So it takes the file and it sends it to Whisper and it says, please transcribe this. I don't know if you've used Whisper. I think it's Whisper or WhisperSync. WhisperSync. Have you used the WhisperSync transcription yet?
No, I've been using Descript for mine.
Sure. I don't know if Descript has an API.
Yep.
It does? Cool.
Well, so I'm not sure. Either way, I like the process that you're creating. So I'm not romantic about these things.
It is phenomenal, the transcription. I've never seen a human transcription as good as WhisperSync.
Great.
And it's free. And it's like pretty much instant. Okay. And so then it sends back a literal transcript, which is verbatim what I spoke in. Like, let's actually see if we can get the if we can see in the history the actual results. It might show us the actual transcript that came back. Let's see. Success. Okay, so here's what I do in that too, by the way. Sent one new transcript. Data in was this. This is the actual audio, right? And then data out Hey, what's up, Rob? Good to be with you today. I'm going to give you an example of what it's like to just talk into my phone, capture an audio, blah, 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 blah. So this is the raw transcript. It's pretty good. If I use a word like gonna, right? Gonna, okay, it will be turned into the proper English. This is the raw transcript. And then I take that text. My next step here is I say correct grammar and formatting. So then I take that transcript, and then I send it to ChatGPT 3 or GPT-3 using the OpenAI, and I've got a prompt. And that prompt says, please improve the grammar and punctuation in the audio transcript contained in the square brackets below. Add paragraph breaks where appropriate. Replace spoken colloquial versions of words like gonna into their proper form going to. Wrap all paragraphs in HTML paragraph tags. That'll become clear as to why that is in a minute. And then I got the transcript here that's inserted from the WhisperSync's result, right? And then boom, and it comes back. Hey, what's up, Rob? Good to be with you today. I'm going to give you an example of what it's like to be just to talk on my phone, caption audio, da 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 da. Let's see. I'm wondering if it's going to grab this word gonna. And you might notice first. Oh, see, actually, it didn't transform it. I wonder if it understood the context that I was trying to make the point that it was that we're going to turn gun into going to, and so it didn't do it. But in general, it does a really phenomenal job of it. It won't just be spelled out. Oh, look, it did understand the context. It won't just be spelled out Gonna in the article. That's pretty cool. So the other thing that it's doing is adding punctuation and formatting. So then you go over here to Basecamp. And so when the entire thing is done, it creates a Basecamp post for me, article, Rob example. So the title of my Basecamp message is the file name without the file extension. And then it has, there's one more step I forgot to share with you. So after I have it correct the grammar and formatting, then I take that result from ChatGPT and then I send it back to ChatGPT again, or GPT-3 again. And this time I say, in reference to the article below, please provide an attention-grabbing hook title that begins with the words how to and captures attention and inspires people to read the article. The entire output should be in all caps and less than 80 characters. Do not respond with any lowercase letters. So then basically I'm just saying, now that I've got this article, give me a title for it. And so then GPT-3 is responding with the title. Now I've got the title and the article. And then I get the file name title that I'm going to use in the Basecamp message right here. And that's just using some formatting thing. I basically say, give me the title, then anything before the period, anything before the .m4a, give me that text. And then that becomes what I use as the title in Basecamp. And then I'm going to first, before I go to Basecamp, I'm actually going to submit this to Google Docs. I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a second. And then, oh yeah, there's another piece here. And then I take that article with the title and I send it to 11 Labs. So 11 Labs, do you know what 11 Labs is? Voice cloning? Yeah, so I've got a few different clones of my voice created. One of me reading, one of me declaring, one of me speaking on video, so different styles. And so then I have Zapier send the article that was just written by ChatGPT with entitled in proper English to 11 Labs, and I have it generate that audio, the audio of me speaking that article. So you might be thinking, well, why don't you just use the original? Well, the original one was me with noise in the background while running. It's like, it's kind of just, it's not like proper writing. So now it's going and creating like the audiobook version of that. I have a delay in here because 11 Labs sometimes takes a minute to get that audio created. And then once 11 Labs sends that back, I have it drop it into a Google Drive, upload file into Google Drive. And so, and then I go to Basecamp and I post all of this stuff, all of these assets in Basecamp. So you'll see how to turn spoken words into a publishable article. That's the title GPT-3 came up with. Here's the article in its format. And you see there's paragraphs here based on, when I'm switching context a little bit. And then I have it add, loving you the way I sign off on my articles. And then I've just got also, and this is all this right here is in my post to Basecamp Zap. So I've got like a heading with the title in it. I've got the actual article. I've got my sign off and some other stuff here. Then I've got a heading with the word assets, and I've got an unordered list, and I'm just dropping in all these different assets that were used during the process in case I need to reference any piece of them. So for example, this is coming soon. I'll tell you about that in a second. The source article that I have in the Google Doc, the 11 Labs audio, I can click here to listen to it or download the file. The original audio that I used to generate it, listen or download the file. In case somebody on my team needs to be like, wait, what did he actually say there? Is this what he meant? Did GPT-3 get it wrong? They can listen to the original. The reason I have the source article in this regenerate publishable text is because what I'm going to do soon is I'm going to break this Zap into 2 stages. And that way, if there's something that my team wants to be different, they can go to the Google Doc, make an edit, and then hit regenerate publishable text, and it will create a new Basecamp message with the new version of it. And the other reason that's important is because pretty soon it's not just going to be one version of this article here. It's going to be like 3 or 4 different versions with slightly different formatting for the different social media platforms that the team is going to publish it on. Right. So it might look one way on Instagram because it's less characters. We can do the short version there. And the other thing that's coming that I'm working on right now too is another asset will be Midjourney prompt suggestions. And so I will have like 3 lines of Midjourney prompts pre-written that GPT-3 will have generated based on my prompt to GPT-3 with this article. Like I'll say, hey, can you give me a Midjourney prompt using this camera lens for this article? I mean, that's a short version of it. They'll be more in depth. And then they'll be able to just copy and paste them into Discord, create the images, and they can use those with these articles. So any questions about that, Zap, before I go into the other one?
No, absolutely love this. I'm following all of this. This is filling up my systems and processes bucket for sure. Love it.
Awesome, man. Can you go like a little bit over the 30-minute mark?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Stop? Okay, cool. So, oh, by the way, just to finish this off, I moved that file in Google Drive from one folder to another. So the asset of the original audio is moved into like, this is a folder where this has now been already transcribed, just so for an organization's sake. I won't go to that next stuff yet because that stuff is currently not being used. I'll show you that's being used in my other Zap process. So I've got 2 Zaps here and they work together. So if I shoot a video, I do a lot of videos. So I just go into my phone, and I'm not going to run this one right now because it goes all the way to publishing and I don't want to publish the example. But what I would do is I just shoot a video, say I shoot a 90-second video of me talking. Typically I use the Captions app, which is a great app because it automatically captions my video, and the output that I then use is already captioned and ready to go. But I don't need to do that if I don't want captions in it. But because this one's going straight to publishing, literally straight to publishing, when I take one action, I'm putting captions in it right at the moment of recording, because once I hit go, it's going to publish. So I shoot a video in my Captions app, I export it, and then very similarly, I save it into a folder on my phone, which is linked into Google Drive because we figured out how to do that. And then that triggers this first Zap, right? So video is uploaded into this folder called AI Publishing Bot that I put in my Google Drive. And then I say, if, this is just to make sure that it doesn't break anything, if it's an MP4, if somebody didn't upload the wrong kind of file, if somebody actually uploaded a video, then the first thing I want to do is I want to send that to a service called Cloud Convert, which is free up to a pretty large amount of data. And all I'm asking Cloud Convert to do is extract the audio from this video. That'll become clear as to why in a second. So just give me the audio from this video. And then if it succeeds in doing that, then I move the video to a different folder. I say, okay, we've gotten the audio. That's it. So then now that video is just moved into a different folder. So it's at a different stage. It's ready for transcription. Okay. And then I upload that audio also into Google Drive. And I title it the same title as the video. So each video now has a matching audio only with version of it. And then I go into Basecamp and I'd be like, yo, Basecamp, yo, creating team, just so you know, I've transcoded that audio. And then that would come up. Let's go here, content and marketing. I've just got a little message thread that I have favorited at the top. It's just kind of like audio extractions. Every time I extract an audio from a video, boom, there's just a link to the video and the audio in Basecamp for convenience, and also so we can keep track of what's happening. All right. And then that's it. That Zap is done. Now, so all that Zap really does is it pulls the audio out of a video and it gives us links to it and lets us know it's done it. Now, this next Zap here is waiting and listening for any time a new audio file shows up in that folder. So an audio version shows up in the ready to transcribe folder, and this Zap is triggered. And what does it do? Obviously, it sends that audio to GPT-3 and it says, please transcribe it. Just like the one of the spoken word. It's transcribing the video essentially. Now, I'm sure there's a service out there where you can send the entire video and get it transcribed. WhisperSync only takes audios. And I actually really prefer this because it's such a lighter load to be sending audio data and it's faster. And also WhisperSync is for me one of the highest qualities that I've seen. So I prefer to extract the audio and send audio to WhisperSync. Then I'm doing that same thing. Now, thanks for this transcript. Give me a how-to title for my video, right? And I'll just share my prompt here. In reference to the video transcript below, please provide an attention-grabbing title that begins with the words how-to. Same as the other one. Captures attention, inspires people to watch it. The output should be all caps and less than 80 characters. Do not respond with any lowercase letters. Kind of got to say that twice. Sometimes you need to crack the whip, right? For GPT-3
Can
especially.
I add a potential thing that might help you right there? Are you inputting your brand voice in that at all?
Not yet. There's lots of room to improve my prompting. Thank you. I have been a little bit lazy on my prompt engineering because I've been really fascinated with just a little bit of prompting and how to hook all the steps together, like this kind of stuff. But yeah, I know it. That's one of the downsides for me of GPT-3 versus 4, because GPT-4 has been trained on me, but GPT-3 hasn't. And so it's like really good at my voice in GPT-4, but I can still ask GPT-4 to describe my voice and then bring that description into this prompt so that GPT-3 knows how to speak in my style. So I'll probably add that in.
So I will, after this, I'm going to send you a short ebook that I created called ChatGPT Secrets Revealed. That'll immediately level up your prompt engineering. Yes, you can reverse engineer your brand voice, but I'll even make it simpler for you. Just describe 5 or 10 words of what you sound like. So for example, I'm friendly, inspiring, witty, but brand safe. You can have a drink with me at the bar. I'm good vibes. I'm tech and pop culture savvy. Boom.
Cool.
And I created a best practices document so I can go copy paste who I am, who my target demographic is, and what my brand voice is at all times.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to try it. And one of the things that I have found is that my voice isn't as good as creating catchy hook titles. Well, we'll see, because what I have liked about this, not giving it my voice, is it's taking me out of the box of the way that I would create hook titles, and it's creating things that I wouldn't normally say that are working better. So I don't want to break that, but we'll see what it creates. So create content question. So for me, when I have a video go out, I have both a title to the video and a few lines beneath it that really hook people in. And so in reference to the video, please provide a single impactful interrogative statement, the answer to which is contained in this video. Do not enclose this question in quotes. So I'm trying to so it's like, how to tie your shoes. And then the question beneath that is like, wouldn't it be amazing if you could put your shoes on all by yourself? Watch this video to find out how, something like that. So then I've got that stuff, and I'm just doing a little bit of text formatting to get it looking how I want it to look for its use, right? And then do some file moving and managing, and then again I post a message in Basecamp, right? And so that would be, let's go back to Basecamp here. Let's just show you an example of that. This is really just for our reference video. This is the title. That's from the file name, right? That's for our reference. This is the link to the video, the audio that was transcribed by WhisperSync. Here's the text that's going to be used in the social media post. How to, I don't know what that colon's all about. That's an issue I got to fix. That's new. Sometimes she gets it wrong still. I've just anthropomorphized ChatGPT into a woman. That's a bit sexist. Anyway, sorry about that. How to be, I think Alexa and Siri are both women, but if ChatGPT had a voice, what would the default voice be? Would it be male or female? Interesting. So that's the text for the post, and here's the transcript, right? Now, that's just for our reference because the Zap keeps going, right? Only continue if, I forget what this if was. Oh, that the file, wait, only shared is true. What's that one? Number 8. Oh, once the file has been moved in Google Drive and it's ready to go, that's just basically saying that everything's ready to go, then go forward with this, because these things are going to need to reference that video file. So Metricol is a social media software. Have you heard of it, Metricol?
No.
It's like a smaller company out of Europe, but it's way less expensive than Hootsuite and does pretty much the same stuff. and it's got an API. So, I'm paying like $50 a month for it right now, and I can have multiple brands, and like 10 plus social media channels per each one. So I've got these 3 brands in Metricol. And so I go straight to my social media publishing software. I have which platforms I want turned on, and then I just give the post content and text, and then I put a link to the Google Drive where that video file is, right? And then in Metricol, I'll just actually pull Metricol up as well. And so I do that for each of my 3 brands. I can, there's a million different variables you can choose for that. Let's see, let me log in. Hopefully it doesn't show my password. There we go. And so these posts automatically show up in Metricol like this. Here's one that's pending for tomorrow. Here's that text generated by GPT-3, the question, the sign off. The video asset is already uploaded into Metricol. It's scheduled to go on Facebook, Instagram Reel, LinkedIn. Currently have it turned off for some of the others. And which brand is this actually? This is my personal brand. So I've got one for creating, one for my personal. And if I went into creating, you'd see that same piece of content in there as well. Now I have it going in as a draft. You could have it set straight to publish, but I have it set to draft. See, these are all on the same day, because the way that I'm doing it is I'm putting them in draft mode in Metricol, and this is where the humans come in. My team is still making the executive decisions about when content goes out where. And so all they have to do though is come in here and drag this around and decide when it's going to go out. So Metricol shows you the darker the blue, the more popular your social channel engagement is, the timings. And so they are typically spreading them out throughout the weeks manually and putting them at the right times. Obviously, there's a number of executive decisions that need to be made around planning content publishing that I still haven't gotten the AI to do. I think there's a lot of complexity there, but in time. But I mean so literally, if you think about it, I'm shooting a video and then it's showing up here in my publishing software ready to go out. It just needs to be shown where and when, or just shown when. That's it for that one.
Question.
Yeah, man.
Is there any front or back end editing on the clipping the intro or the outro, like the dead air? So, or is that just going raw as is?
Well, I shoot in the Captions app, right? And a Captions app obviously adds the caption, but it also has trim. So I shoot the video, and then I just right in the app, just like if you shoot a reel or something, you just drag the left over to trim the first couple of seconds and the last couple of seconds. I'm not adding any other editing to it. If you wanted to, you just have to do all the editing before you drop it in that Google Drive folder. Get your video ready, drop it in the folder, then let go, and then it's on your social media publishing schedule. If you use Hootsuite, you could do the same thing as Metricol.
Gotcha. I was like, man, he's not even doing the 3 seconds at the beginning or the end. Look how magical this thing is. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that AI would hear dead air and know that you could just go chop, chop. But see, this is another one of those inches that would stop people being like, but what about the 5 seconds at the beginning? Like, what do I do then? He didn't talk about that part. So it's good to know that. Yeah, exactly. I spent 12 seconds going trim, done.
Trim. I mean, it's easy. I've just decided that's part of what shooting a video is, because if I do that, then this thing's actually literally ready to publish. And on sometimes I'm getting better at just like starting the moment I'm ready to talk and stopping the moment I'm done. Sometimes I don't have to trim because I pre-trimmed in my mind, and this is not part of the Zap, but just since you were just talking about that, do you know about Opus?
No.
Opus. Let's see. Let me try and open a tab here. Opus.pro. So this is insanely ridiculously free. So you drop a YouTube link for like an hour-long video, and then it spits out anywhere between 10 and 90-second reels based on where it thinks this is an interesting piece of content. So we drop a YouTube, an hour talk that I do in there, and then it gives us 15 videos that are reels, and I just download those and drop them into this and it already has the captions in it. Then I download them and I just drop them into my Google Drive folder, and they're all set up, ready to publish with text.
That's
It's like
that's
the amount of
good.
content that you can generate and publish is insane. So another thing that I wanted to say, just to turn the share screen off for a second, the reason that I'm doing this, Rob, is because yes, at some point, the quality of AI's writing and video is going to replace what I'm capable of. So far, I still think that my writing has soul in it that isn't matched by ChatGPT. And you might beg to differ. I would be curious to hear from you on that. But in any case, I am trying to leverage AI to help me get my content out into the world fast, as opposed to having AI generate content for me, because I think that we are going to become more and more adept at distinguishing between artificially generated content and human content. And I think the AI, it'll be an arms race, like for soul. But in any case, that's why my focus is where it is. That's why it's like, why aren't you just sending it a prompt and having it create an article and publish it for you? Well, there's something in the essence of the being of my stuff, but I can use AI to go 100 times faster in the generate. Like I can go for a run right now, and by the time I come home, there's an article ready to publish already in the software, right? So that is incredibly accelerating my capacity to generate and deliver content to the world. And that every piece of that content has soul in it. It's me on video. It's not an avatar. So how much faster can I get me out into the world is the way I'm thinking about using AI in
Yeah.
a publishable, in a well-presented way.
Yeah, I would take a page from Grant Cardone. People just don't know enough about you. Like that, you're just not publishing enough. He's so
Right.
omnipresent. He's like, how turbo can you go?
Right. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. That's what I wanted to share, man.
That is very inspiring for me. I love all of that. Some quick follow-up questions. One, from the Google Drive structure, was there anything foundational that needs to be known from that? I understand going step by step by step into the processes, or was the setting the Google Drive up something about the foundational things to build this? I already run my content off of Google Drive to begin with, so it's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, just the simple thing that I do in file structure is I think of like, what are the stages of the process? And then I create multiple folders, and I use numbers up front, like 0 1 source content, 0 2 transcribed content, 0 3 ready to publish, 0 4 published content. And I move it through those stages just so that if at any point I want to find something, I know where in the flow it is. Or if something gets stuck for some reason, something breaks, some colon gets inserted and the whole thing falls apart, then I can be like, it's here, it's stuck here.
Cool. In terms of me recreating this for myself, in terms of time to output, I understand everything that you just did. I can rewatch this thing. Is there any one part of this that was the biggest challenge, or were there any light bulb moments for you? I use Zapier, but I know there's people who are Zapier experts, or putting these things together.
Yeah.
Is this something I can do in a weekend, and I know this will be an ongoing process.
In a weekend, yeah. If you're going to work the weekend, I mean, I would say each of those probably took me like some hours to build out, because it's like figuring out little bugs. I'm going to give you one bug that like was a pain in the ass when I finally figured it out. It's super weird and not easy to figure out. So Google Drive trigger, when you upload a new file, is very particular. The file has to be uploaded into Drive from your computer or from your phone, not moved into that folder within Google Drive. So it's when it says upload, it means upload. It doesn't mean like move the file from a different Google Drive folder. So that's a thing. And another thing is, if you upload a file and it's older than 5 days, or 4 days, or it hasn't been modified in the last 4 days, it will consider it it won't trigger. So it's only if you upload new files or recently modified files from your computer or your phone that the Zap will trigger. That was a headache and a half until I figured it out. So that'll save you in a couple hours. And so sometimes that means you've got stuff in your Google Drive, you need to download it to your computer, then throw it back up. But then going forward, it's new content. You can just upload it into that folder right from go. what was the other thing that I was thinking? Oh, the other thing that took a while was 11 Labs, because 11 Labs doesn't have a Zapier connection. So I had to like get a little bit more technical and, use the webhooks thing. So, but yeah, so that 11 Labs takes a little bit more technical know-how, but those are the two big things I would say.
Great. I have a gift that I'm going to give to you. Have you ever used God Prompt?
I've heard of it. Is that like the jailbreak one?
Uh, it is a prompt that responds with asking questions to build a better prompt. And it keeps going until it has enough information that you've created the most powerful prompt for what it is that you want to create to
Cool.
create the most powerful output that you want.
I love meta prompting, so please share it with me. Yeah.
So I'll send you the code for the prompt, and then I did a 9-minute video about how to use the thing. And it's beautiful, where it'll be like,
Awesome.
well, what about this? And then what about
Mm.
this? And it'll give you suggestions or questions. So like,
Cool.
hey, you should probably think about adding blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, thank you. Because most people are like, write me a social media strategy versus I'm a real estate agent that lives in Sarasota, Florida. My target demographic is this, and then this, and then this. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh my God, look at what this is. And it'll also train you to think differently in creating by reverse engineering things. And one thing, if you're not doing it, once I get to the completion of something, sometimes I'll ask, what was the prompt I could have typed that would have created the output that we created?
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah. Cool, man. Please send it. I would look forward to playing God.
Yes. And then the last thing for you, congratulations on the conference. Will you be live streaming that?
As of now, no. We may look into it, but we're super focused on putting people in the room. So, and it's been middle of the night for a lot of people in the US. But
Gotcha.
yeah, man. But thanks. Yeah, we're super excited about it. I've got a third of the tickets sold. We've still got a month out. And there's 90 seats in the room, and we've got just an awesome plan for the 2 days.
And what can I do to support you in that, knowing that I'm in the States? I don't know if I have the biggest UK network, but I still have a network, and I want to support you and everyone there because I know what is on the other side.
Well, tell everybody about it and why they should be there, and not as like, how do I convince them, but like just tell them the truth about the work that we've done, the impact it's had on you, and what being immersed in 2 days of that conversation will do for them. I know there's the things we're teaching explicitly, but I know also, and as well, that there's the implicit evolution that occurs being immersed in this conversation. And we've got people that have already booked from all over the United States that have booked their flights and booked their tickets. And so, anybody, I'm flying halfway around the world to be there. So, obviously I think it'll be worth it.
Of course. I definitely see myself attending if you do this again. Another one, the 18-month-old baby thing is still challenging for me in terms of what I can do. Yeah. But I saw that, and seeing the community together just lights me up. And I have to show you some love, to show Lindsay some love, because Lindsay comments on my posts, and I can legitimately feel the love in her comments to the point where I want to create with Lindsay at some point because I can feel her love.
Yeah, man. She's awesome. She's like the mother, capital T, capital M.
So thank you very much for this gift. So I'm going to be giving you two things: God Prompt, as well as my ChatGPT Secrets resource that can just help level you up on the prompt engineering. I am going to edit this out a little bit on the front and the back ends and share it with the community. And thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Rob. Look forward to seeing it. Make sure I get tagged in that, and I'll bring as many people to the group to watch it as possible.
Much appreciated. Sending good vibes your way, my friend.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. See ya.
See ya.